How's it going, everybody? Alninio here, and today we're going to talk about runes, masteries, and items for the Katarina Rework. I've done these before as well, but this time it's going to be the updated one, my furthest one. This is probably the best rune page I've ever used on Katarina. So let's head straight into it here. Talk about runes, masteries, and items. I'm going to explain why I think they're good and why the items synchronize well with this rune page. This is by far the most phenomenal rune page I've used on Cat. To have really a good amount of strength in every stage of the game. So let's just stop talking here and get straight to the rune pages. Right, so Sinister Blade versus AP is your first rune page. This is typically against AP champions. So you go 9 attack damage marks, health per level seals, 6 magic penetration glyphs, 3 AP glyphs, 2 magic pen quints, and 1 AP quint. Right. So you're probably like, whoa, that's a whole lot of shit in it's like a whole lot of shit in different places. Right, so the reason I go for magic pen glyphs is because when you go AD marks, you lose out on the magic penetration marks. So I put them in glyphs, but this time I don't put them all in glyphs, because before I used to go just all magic pen glyphs and 1 magic pen quint. That will give me 7.7 magic penetration, right? So this time I go around 7.8 with 2 magic penetration quints. Now you're probably wondering, it's only a 0.1 difference from your last rune page. What's the deal here? The only thing here is I add AP glyphs, which will help me a ton in the early stages of the game, and I go for 1 AP quint. This will give you a mix of very good early damage with your AD marks. On top of that, you have very good consistent damage early. Plus, I always start Dark Seal as my first item. So generally I have 15 AP plus the AP from runes, a shit ton of AP right there. Right, so I go AD marks because I go for the Gunblade, and Gunblade is fantastic on this current Katarina. It's better than a Luden Rush, 100%. Luden Rush right now is a lot weaker than it used to be before. Like, you press 1Q, you take down a whole lot of their health with just 1Q in lane with 100 charges Luden. You can't do that anymore. Gunblade is your new bread and butter. You get Gunblade and you just Shrek people, man. You destroy them, you delete them. Like, it has such good initial burst. Like, when you E someone and then Gunblade, you have such good initial burst that you deal so much damage at the beginning before you even full combo someone. So you can top it off with a full combo and you can really get quick resets just like that. This rune page is phenomenal. It really works very, very well. HP per level seals is very self-explanatory, because as you scale through late game, mid game, and late game, you need that beefiness, you need that HP to survive the shit that you have to go through late game. So that's really it. Now, keep in mind, 7.8 magic pen, I go precisely 7.8 magic pen because if you go on a standard rune page like here, for example, the standard AP rune page would be 7.8 magic penetration from marks. If you go full magic pen marks, you get 7.8. So I made it so that in this rune page, I get precisely 7.8 magic penetration as normally I would have on a separate rune page that has full magic pen marks. So it's perfect. I get the exact same amount of magic pen with added AD, because AD is amazing on this Katarina. Her scalings off E, Q, sorry, not Q, E, Sinister Steel, which is her passive, and Death Lotus all have AD scalings, and plus if you go Gunblade to top it off, you have just insanely good damage, and I see nothing wrong with this rune page. It works really, really, really well. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating whatsoever. This is a fantastic rune page to go for against AP champions. Now, we'll go versus AD champions. All of us is exactly the same, except I go flat armor seals. So exactly the same. AP, Quint, 2 magic pen quints, magic pen glyphs, AP glyphs, and AD marks. Except this time flat armor seals, because you're against AD champions. You don't want to get shredded early. Getting shredded early is not fun, and you want to have armor. So it's really that simple. I still wouldn't start Cloth Armor start against AD champions. I'd always go Dark Seal because it gives you that 15 AP plus combination with the AP from runes, and your Masteries also give you AP. You have that decent amount of early damage, and you have the auto attacking, so you can auto attack with your AD from runes. So overall, you're just really powerful mix of AD and AP. It's like, it's perfect. This is like the best way to play Katarina right now, in my opinion. I've tested it, I've played with it, I played around with it. I used to go Moose Speed Quints here too, and 1 Magic Pen Quint with full Magic Pen Glyphs. That's what I used to do before. But I think this is way better. This is hugely improved early laning phase, like so much stronger, so strong. I tested it out and it's phenomenal. Just make sure, guys, when you get Gunblade, you go 2 long swords at the beginning. Don't rush Cutlass, 2 long swords, and then finish Revolver, then finish Gunblade. I'll get to that in a sec with the items. But yeah, that's pretty much your 2 main rune pages here versus AP and versus AD. Now, I'm going to talk about the if you don't have enough IP, or if you just have a rune page that you use on every mid lane champion, and you don't really have enough IP to spend on another rune page to make it specifically just for Katarina. This right here is your standard default rune page that works on every AP champion. There's nothing wrong with it. It works great. It gives you the stats that you need, and it works just fine. This is typically AP Quints, Magic Pen Reds, Health Level Seals, and MR Glyphs. Pretty self-explanatory. You get a mix of damage, MR for defense. This is standard, super default standard, consistently good. Nothing's bad about this rune page. It's fine, but I like Gunblade, and you typically want to go for AD marks if you're gonna go for a Gunblade rush. You could probably still go for a Gunblade rush with this rune page, although it's much better off when you have AD marks. Like, there's just such phenomenal power that comes with Gunblade, and it really makes a difference. So try your best to get a rune page like these ones. It makes a big difference. The next rune page is also another optional one. This is something I don't go for, but I know some people don't like Gunblade, right? This is a guide to help you play Katarina the way you want to play her, right? I'm showing you my way, but then I'm also showing you alternative ways that you can play her. This is a different way. So you go full AP Quints, full AP Glyphs, full Magic Pen Reds, and Health Level Seals. This right here gives you flat AP damage. So if you rush Rylai, this is typically good. I still don't think you should rush Luden anymore on Katarina. Luden just is not as strong as it used to be as a rush item. But like with the rework, it's considerably less damage with 100 charges as a first item. It's a big no-no for me at the moment. Luden's not the way to go. But yeah, if you want to rush Rylai, you can go for this. It's okay, it's fine. And if you don't like Gunblade, this is typically a good rune page to go for. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say about the rune pages. There's 4 rune pages that I just explained. I only used 2 of them, the Sinister Blade versus AP one, and the Sinister Blade versus AD one, the ones with attack damage marks. The other 2, alternative, optional ones for you guys if you want to use them. If you don't like Gunblade, those are fine as well. Right, Masteries is the next thing we're going to talk about, and this is self-explanatory, increased AP damage. Now here, people would say, Feast or Fresh Blood. I definitely go Fresh Blood because I'm more aggressive with Katarina. I have an aggressive laning phase, aggressive early, and typically dealing more damage is always good. Since you basic attack a lot with Gunblade and your AD marks, this is actually really good Mastery to go for. You go for this if you feel like you need it, but I'm gonna go with a no-no. I go Fresh Blood, get that aggression going, get that damage going, get that basic attack off. It's definitely worth it. Also, you can reset your auto attack timer with auto attack, Shampoo, auto attack. It will instantly reset your auto attack timer, so you get 2 AAs very quickly. So Fresh Blood is overall pretty decent. Since also you go Gunblade, you get that AD, it works just fine. So there's nothing wrong with Fresh Blood, go for it. Here's pretty self-explanatory. I go for the damage, and AP AD scales through late game. It's definitely the way to go. You could go maybe 1 point in this if you want, because you go Gunblade, it gives you lifesteal, but I wouldn't recommend it. I don't see a point in doing that. And by the way, if you don't know how to add one, because the new client, it's like you right click, so you want to add here, but it transfers like that. You press shift and then click. you add 1 point in there. So if you want to put like 4 to 1 or something like that, this is how you do it. But yeah, this is typically how I'd go for. Double-edged sword, by the way. Here is the most difficult one to choose: double-edged sword, bounty hunter, or battle trance. I go double-edged sword because it gives me 5 additional damage right at the start. So right as soon as I get that early aggression down, I have 5% additional damage. So bounty hunter is great scaling wise, but early game it doesn't give you as much damage as double-edged sword. So that's why I go double-edged sword, giving me that additional damage, because I emphasize a lot on the early strength that I have. So I go double-edged sword 100%. It's really powerful. It's very good to go for. Sure, you take additional damage from enemies, but it's definitely worth it. You're Katarina, you want to deal damage. Battle trance is okay, but I just go double-edged sword. Battle trance is actually not too bad if you don't want to receive damage. However, it's over 5 seconds. It's still good, but I just go double-edged sword. That early aggression is beautiful. And in cunning, you can go either savagery or wonder. But I like wonder because I like the roaming style, I like the movement speed. And since I don't go Ludens anymore, wander is very good to give you that extra mobility needed to catch up to enemies, to chase, to escape, to whatever it is. Wander gives you just more versatility overall. Next up is assassin. I don't think I need to explain this. It's consistently good, and you want to be able to deal a lot of damage. Next up is deal 5% increased damage to champions when they're low health. Also, don't need to explain. You're an assassin, you kill, you get 3 sets. And here I just go for dangerous game, and lethality and magic pen, and Thunderlord definitely over Deathfire Touch 100%, because Thunderlord gives you that burst on single targets. It's also incredibly good during laning phase. You E basic attack Q, it procs Thunderlord, or you E Q basic attack, you proc Thunderlord, but typically you want to E basic attack and then Q rather than EQ basic attack. But yeah, the proccing Thunderlord during laning phase is awesome. Right, next up we're going to be talking about the items. Now, if you want to see this guide right here for yourself, it's in the description below. It's very long guide, so if you want to really like get deep into it, check out my Katarina guide in the description below, and you'll have the full guide right in front of you. Right, so Dark Seal start 100%. It gives you that 25% increased healing from potions, which is 100% amazing to go for on early game. Also, it gives you 15 AP. That 15 AP is so amazing, you have no idea. 15 AP plus your runes also have AP, plus your AD marks, right? And magic penetration to top it off. So you have just a mix of just all these things, and Dark Seal and 3 health pots. 3 health pots on top of that, you get that amazing amount of sustain, or really powerful early damage. And Dark Seal is definitely the best starting item on Katarina at the moment, 100%. Right, the next items are Gunblade and Rylai. These are my core items. I pretty much get these every game. Sometimes I would skip out Rylai and buy Zanya. It depends on the situation that I'm in, so typically Gunblade, 100%. With Gunblade, guys, you do not rush Cutlass. You buy 2 long swords, then you buy a revolver, then you buy Cutlass, then you buy Gunblade. Don't rush Gunblade. Don't buy the lifesteal either. Early on, don't buy the lifesteal. Go 1 long sword, so that's 2, finish revolver, and then finish the item completion. Next up is Rylai. Its slow is amazing, it's a good item, and it's probably better than Luden in my opinion at the moment. Even as a second item, or sorry, a third item, because it's after Sork Shoes and Gunblade. It's still a good item. It does more than Luden, I think, because the HP, plus the HP scaling from your runes, you get so much health by late game, and it's very good scaling wise. So Rylai, 100%, the way to go. Really good item, gives slow. Also, you get the full effect of the slow because you're Katarina. You have AoE and single targeting, and with Rylai, if you Q on a single target or E on a single target, you get that full slow effect. And on top of that, you have AoE, so that slows people as well. Your daggers spin more, like your dagger speed is faster with your Death Lotus. Rylai, 100%. Next up would be situational items. So I have notes explaining like what to get, but obviously I'm not gonna put that right there and let you guys read while I stay quiet here. I'm not gonna do that, but if you want to pause right here and read it for yourself, up to you. But yeah, Zanya, you get it if you are against a Zed or if you're against Talon or bullshit like that that you find annoying, you can skip out Rylai and put Zhonya in place of it. If you really need the Zhonya, okay? Luden, I wouldn't recommend it much. It's a great item, yes. It's great, it gives you mobility, it gives 100 charges, but it's not as strong as it used to be on Katarina, and I would probably not buy this. There's actually better options right now. Even Rylai is a better option. So even if you're snowballing, like Rylai is always really, really good, and Rylai just feels better overall on Katarina right now. So I'd probably go Rylai. Luden wouldn't be an option for me at the moment. Maybe some games here and there, I'd like to play with it, but I wouldn't seriously be able to, you know, consider snowballing with Luden. I'd rather just go Rylai. Next up is Void Staff. Really good magic pen item. There's no reason you don't get this at any game. You always buy this, even if you enter the mid-game, late-game stages. Once you enter that stage of the game, you do need a Void Staff. It penetrates MR from runes, it penetrates MR from Masteries. Even if they don't buy MR items, you still need Void Staff late game. You can't skip it out. You should get Void Staff at least as your 4th item, or maybe 3rd item. Like, don't delay it too much. If you delay it too much, you're in trouble. Maybe 5 items, it's too much. You delayed it way too much if you reach 5th item Void Staff. So I would recommend you don't delay it that much, to that extent. So typically I'd just go Sork, Gunblade, Rylai, Void Staff, you know, if they have MR. If I'm like snowballing like crazy, Rabadon is a good option for snowballing like man. Like, let's say you go like 15-0 or something, like 20 minutes in, you can totally go Hexa, Gunblade, Rylai, Rabadon. But keep in mind, you will lose out on the Zhonya effect, so you won't have that defensive stat with you. But if you feel like there are some games where you can just fully snowball, so Rabadon comes in very handy there. Abyssal Scepter is okay because it gives you MR, it gives you 10% increased AP damage, which is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with this item, except as a defensive item, I always find myself buying Zhonya. Even against a burst mage like Annie LeBlanc, I'd always buy Zhonya. Like, Zhonya is just fucking awesome, man. Like, Zhonya, you just press one button, it leaves you in a golden status. They can't touch you for 2.5 seconds. Like, Zhonya is a very good defensive item, and I don't see why I would buy Abyssal over Zhonya. Although Abyssal is actually good, but there's no real room for it in my inventory because I like the other items a bit more. Like Zhonya, I like it way too much over Abyssal. But if you feel like you need the MR, absolutely buy Abyssal at this stage of the game, after Rylai, or maybe after Gunblade. If you feel like you need that Abyssal, go ahead, get it, up to you. Next up is Guardian Angel. Absolutely, always finish your build with a Guardian Angel. This is the best item late game on Katarina because it gives you a chance to get more resets. You come back to life, you're able to kick more ass, nothing wrong with that, right? Kicking ass is always fun. You want to kick ass? Buy GA, right? So this is how an example full build would look like. Sork Shoes, Gunblade, Rylai, Void Staff, Zhonya, GA. You can totally buy something else here in place of Zhonya. You can buy Rabadon, you could totally buy Abyssal here, but I wouldn't recommend Abyssal at like this stage of the game, so I just buy Zhonya. You could totally go Rabadon here if you want, instead of Zhonya as well. If you feel like you want the Rabadon more than the status, if you feel like you're not really threatened by their CC, or you feel like they don't have CC, like let's say they have a Yi Tryndamere, they don't have a Vi ult, right? If they have a Vi ult, I would definitely buy Zhonya, because Vi ult is super obnoxious to deal with, and I don't want to deal with Vi ult. And there's also actually no way to cancel Vi ult. It's unstoppable. She just charges in, slaps you down. It's not fun. You want to counter it? Buy Zhonya. And that's about it. Those are the runes up here and everything. I got the notes for all the items here, so you can totally check out my mobile fire guide for Katarina down below in the description. It currently has 1.2 million views, so my guide is going nuts in viewership. So if you guys want to check it out, go right ahead. Alright, so that is about it, everyone, for our Katarina guide. I hope you guys learned from this. I hope you guys understand my point of view, what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to explain. I hope you guys got the memo. I love this Katarina. I love her so much. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this rework. It's phenomenal if you know what you're doing. It's fantastic. This rune page works so well. I've been kicking ass with it. Even if you're behind sometimes, this rune page is just phenomenal. And Gunblade is so good as a burst item now. Way better than having a Luden Rush. way better than having a Rylai Rush even. Rylai Rush is still good, don't get me wrong, Rylai Rush is still amazing. But Gunblade gives you so much more burst, and sometimes you buy a giant belt, and then you don't have enough money for a needlessly large rod, and I don't like that. You know, I just want to get that longsword, get that revolver, get that Gunblade, and just go ham at it, man. Gunblade is a fantastic item, and that's really about it, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching this guide. I hope you guys enjoyed, and good luck in your Katarina games, everyone. I'll see y'all later, and I'll see y'all on the Rift. Peace out.